He risked everything when the world said it was impossible and changed humanity forever. There are stories that feel almost mythic, filled with impossible challenges and improbable victories. Stories that sound like fiction until you look closely and then realize they were lived by someone who refused to accept the ordinary limits of life. Elon Musk's story begins far from Silicon Valley boardrooms, rocket hangars, and electric car factories. It begins in Pretoria, South Africa, in a world that felt confined, rigid, and often unforgiving. Long before he became the architect of reusable rockets or a symbol of relentless innovation, Elon was simply a quiet boy with an unusual imagination. A child who didn't quite fit the world around him, and because of that, felt compelled to build his own. Growing up in the 1970s and 80s, Elon wasn't the outgoing, charismatic type. He was shy, introverted, absorbed in books, absorbed in thoughts that wandered beyond the edges of the visible world. Science fiction novels, encyclopedias, engineering diagrams, anything that expanded the mind beyond the present moment fascinated him. While other kids played outside, Elon drifted between worlds that existed only in stories. Starships crossing galaxies, civilizations built on distant planets, technologies that could transform life on Earth. These weren't just fantasies for him. They were possibilities. Ideas waiting for someone brave enough to pursue them. But childhood wasn't kind to Elon. He was bullied relentlessly, often violently, targeted not for anything he did, but for who he was. A boy who thought differently, who questioned, who didn't blend in. There was a moment, one he rarely speaks about, when the bullies pushed him down a flight of stairs and beat him so badly he had to be hospitalized. He spent weeks recovering, unable to breathe properly, unable to return to school right away. But even then, something inside him refused to break. If anything, he withdrew deeper into the world of ideas, a world where imagination held more power than cruelty. At home, life was equally complicated. His parents divorced, and the emotional environment was often tense and uncertain. Elon learned early that stability could not be counted on, and that survival sometimes meant building inner resilience when the outer world provided none. It was around this time that he discovered computers, a moment that would shape not just his future, but the technological trajectory of the modern world. At age 12, using a borrowed manual and pure curiosity, Elon taught himself programming. There were no formal lessons, no tutor, no structured guidance, only a child sitting at a computer, learning through trial and error.